All right, guys. So Grand Cross is in a little bit of a dead period. So I thought, why not drop a video for people wondering what teams they should run in PvP or PvE. Now, I know a lot of content creators kind of drop like the same videos. It just depends on basically what the content creator values. And I don't want to say like how far into the game the creator is. It just depends, but for the most part every creator should have a similar list. I'll start with the demon team. I do think that the demon team is one of the best unit or best teams in the game. They have some of the best units in the game: Nemesis Melee, female Melee, LR Estarossa, Green Chandler. So this team right here, I did a video going over, I think I did a video going over the demon team. So I don't want to do too much spending time here and, kind of wasting time. But yeah, basically the demon team is very, very powerful, very cohesive, very, just all in all, very strong. The one thing that they lack is a dedicated healer slash somebody who can basically recover their HP. Who do they have that can do they have anyone that can do that? Do they have anybody that can do that? I don't. Gelda, because Gelda is considered a demon. Gelda, yeah, she does like lifesteal or something, right? It's also nice because she can make the team immune to infect. She's just very weak. I feel like she's very weak right now. Yeah, she can. Oh, she only heals. Okay, I thought she healed the team. Anyway, they lack a dedicated like healer slash somebody who can recover HP for them. The demons always had that issue though. They've always had that issue. So to make up for it, they typically gave us units that were super busted powerful, or that one specific unit had bulk or a lot of defense. Unfortunately though, as the game progresses, it's just naturally going to happen, power creep. So those tanky units that didn't need to be healed, now they suck. So I digress. The demon team is still very strong, very strong. It'll get you through a lot of starting, pretty much through every starting event, every starting boss, every starting, it'll get you to end game content pretty quickly and pretty easily. So I will say the demon team is up there for sure. It's not like my favorite team in the game. I will say it's fun to run. It definitely is fun to run, but it's not my personal favorite team in the game. But I do like demons. I do like demons. They're in a place where they're stronger than before, like ever before. Definitely, probably the strongest they've been, I think, because there's so many different demon team or demon units you can run. You got Meliodas, Estarossa, Chandler, LR Cusack. You could even run some of these units in different events. You have Tristan. You have I mean, I guess you could run these two in the back if you absolutely have no choice. If you really don't have some like Green Chandler, not everybody's gonna have Green Chandler. Not everybody's gonna have LR Estarossa. So these two in the back are other options. So what is that, like 7 or something like that already? Options, real options you can run on the team. I mean, this guy for PvE is still good. So that's 8 options. Lost Fame for farming purposes or whatever. He's not that great, but you could work with him and start like really beginning early phases of the game slash mid content. You could use him in. Demon team is definitely strong. Oh, Oppressor Demon King. I don't have Oppressor Demon King, but the young version of Demon King, he is super good too with his barrier. You could even make this Tyrant Demon King, you could even make him work if you really, really have to. He could work in certain situations, but he's not that great. Anyway, I say all that because the demon team, again, is in the best spot they've been in. I think personally, they're in the best spot they've been in pretty much ever. So yeah, demon team, definitely one of those teams that are very strong. But let's move on to the next team that I think is probably the strongest. Okay, guys, so we're moving into the human team, and I do think the human team is going to probably be the best team for very, very beginning slash new players. Or returning players. The human team is too vast. Like, it is super vast. I say that I know collab characters make up a good margin of the heroes on this team. I understand that, but the units that are not collab characters are super super crazy. You have LR Roxy, who just clears pretty much everything in the game that she can be used in. Roxy just straight up clears it. There's really not an event or a boss in the game currently that can withstand the power Roxy dishes out. There really isn't. She is that good. She is just that good. Same thing with Escanor and Merlin. I mean, I don't really have to go into detail about them. They're unique as an AoE, so for farming, they just pop that bad boy and kill everybody. It restricts recovery skills. Then you also have their single target, which is very, very powerful. Their AoE, providing the barrier to the Sins, providing the flames of obliteration to themselves so they can't die. A very, very powerful unit. Nas is just a good support. There's nothing else to say about that. Just a very good support. He has a recovery card, which is very, very good. Recovery skills, I feel like, are not common. So I'm glad he's a healer. He's increasing basic stats. He's doubling up on those basic stats. Nas is a very, very, I would almost say, he's almost an integral part of the human team. Like, for real. Just everything that he's doing, basic stats on top of basic stats. Then he's increasing the attack related stats for every toxin he removes from himself. Very strong. He heals, removing debuffs. He also increases your attack related stats and defense related stats. Also removes debuffs and debuff immunity. So just super, super strong. Easton, a very, very powerful backline unit. I mean, Easton is just her. Like, Easton is just her. They tried to do this with Zonka and they just failed miserably. I don't know what they were thinking with Zonka. I don't. But Easton's very, very good. She depletes 2 orbs from all enemies if you kill on your turn. She heals human allies, increasing their basic stats and attack. Easton is one of the strongest backline units in the game. Like, just straight up. Then you also have LR Escanor. Say you don't have Merlin and Escanor. Guess what? You could just trade him in for LR Escanor. He's very, very good too. Even in certain situations, he's better than Escanor and Merlin. So very, very powerful there. Again, collab characters. I know people don't like it when you include collab characters, but I'm sorry. Collab characters are very, 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 very broken and powerful when it comes to PvE, right? That's just how it is. Now, there are units that are tailor-made for PvP, like Rudo. That doesn't mean he can't be used in other areas, but you can tell he was made for PvP. You can tell he was made for PvP. We have Gojo Bond, so you can put him on the team. Oh, female Bond, right? If you pulled her, you can put her on the team. Again, the team does have a lot of options you can do for farming. You can do Hauser on there. LR Brunhild is also an option. The one ultimate Escanor, I guess that's what they're calling him, with his final flames, his support through his holy relic, he can be used. It's so crazy. Like, it is genuinely so crazy what this team has. I think that this team, the human team, I do think that it is number 1 when it comes to PvE. I do actually think it's number 1. a little contentious. I'm laughing because it's a toss-up. It really is super close, and it depends on what you value. It depends on what you value. So if we go over to the Sins team, which I do think you could put this team over humans. You absolutely could do that. Personally, I think that the Sins team is better in PvP than it is in PvE. I do. That doesn't mean that they're not going to be very, very strong in PvE content. It just means that you can tell some of the units are just straight up better for PvP content. Now, that's not to say they're not good. Again, that's not to say they're not good in PvP or PvE. However, even Nemesis Melee can kind of get cucked by specific bosses in the game because of his counter. There are certain bosses that take like crazy reduced damage from counterattacks, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you do have to rely on his actual card set instead of his counters at that point, which isn't a bad thing, but you know, it can be a little bit annoying not doing damage with his counters. So there is that too that people do need to realize. You have Dark or Female Bond, Female Melee. These are really strong options. Female Bond is a very, very good PvE and PvP unit. So she can be used on humans and Sins. I think that gives her the ultimate advantage over certain units. I really do. I really do. Being able to be ran on both of the strongest teams like Escanor and Merlin, LR Escanor, Gojo Bond, like that does put them on a pedestal that not a pedestal, but I think that does put them above certain units when it comes to team building. I think that's really important. But even if you don't want to run these guys, let's say, oh, I don't want to run, I don't know, I don't have Female Bond or Female Melee. I mean, you can still run Queen Diane. You could put Escanor and Merlin in the front, so you could do this. Then in the back, you could just put someone like King and Diane just for cease. Oh, well, I guess you can't do that because you have Diane there. But okay, let's do Gojo Bond, right? You could do something like this. This is a setup. I don't have them, but you can do LR Gother in the back for, you know, for the support. The Sins team, that is one thing too that I do kind of have to take points away from the Sins team. I know it's easy to say Nemesis, Melee, Escanor, and Merlin are on the team, so by default, it's the best. I know it's easy to see some of these characters and, you know, be like, oh, it's easily the best. But there is, you know, you do have to remember, there's not a lot of backlines for the Sins. If you're running Gojo Bond, you can't run any of the other bonds. So this guy who actually does support, it's not very good support, but it's something. You can't run him, so just keep that in mind. If you're running Escanor or Merlin or LR Escanor, you won't be able to run this guy, so you won't be able to get the Holy Relic effect for the support. You won't be able to run this Merlin for her Holy Relic support in the back because you have this unit right here. But let's take Escanor and Merlin off and let's put Female Bond. I don't know who's a good unit. Oh, you can even use this King right here. This King though, unfortunately, falls short because he doesn't support, for some reason, this King doesn't support Sins. He only supports fairies and giants. Now, I don't know what the meta was before this King released. Were fairies just that powerful that they didn't want to give him a Sins, like, you know, a Sins, what do you want to call it? I don't know, Sins condition, I guess. Did they not want to do that? Anyway, you can run this guy. He's easily usable with his counter. He's a light type, so you don't got to worry about red, blue, and green. That's an option. But if you don't want to run him, you could, again, run King and Diane. There's no King and Dianes on the team now, so these are, you can absolutely run these two. You can even put them in the front for their unique effect, or for their talent, because their talent, I would say their talent is just straight up better for PvE than Nemesis Melee because they heal. Now, that's a kind of a twofold type of deal. Nemesis Melee, if you can guarantee a kill or something with his talent, it probably is just better. Although in a vacuum, King and Diane's talent is just straight up better, right? It is. They remove 2 debuffs, or remove debuffs equal to the number of surviving allies. So if you're running a 4-man, that means they'll remove 3 debuffs. If you're running a 3-man, that means they'll remove 2 debuffs. And then they also heal, which is super strong. So anyway, very good PvE unit. AoE, this card is so powerful in PvE. That card is crazy. They can petrify. Bosses nowadays are immune to debuffs. So if you find a boss and you can petrify them, I would say use King and Diane. But yeah, so that's going to be the Sins team. I know it was a little bit everywhere, on all over the place, but there are just so many powerful, good units on these teams. It's not even funny. But those would be the 3 teams I would focus on as a newer player. I would focus on demons, humans, and then I would focus on Sins. Those are the 3 teams. If you want them ordered, I would say human is probably what I would go with first, just because they have a wide roster of units you can use. Then I would probably go to the Sins team next. the Sins team would probably be my next team that I would build. And the good thing too is, if you're building a human team, you're kind of, in a sense, building the Sins team too with specific units. So that's the good part about having having these units on multiple teams. That's the good part about that. And then the last team that I would focus on as a newer or beginner player is the Demon team. Again, I do like the Demon team, but they do they do have certain units you need, just straight up more tight and restricted than humans in 7 Deadly Sins. But hopefully this video made sense, guys. I did my best to try and explain it to you the best I could. I know I stumbled over my words a little bit. Hopefully you guys can look past that and just siphon up the information I'm throwing out. But this will be Dev signing out. I love you all, and I hope you have a blessed and beautiful rest of your day.